I am releasing this podcast with a very heavy heart. The guest on this podcast was a highly decorated and valorous leader in Indian Police Force, and to our utter shock and disbelief, he was brutally assassinated within few days of recording this podcast. This podcast is a tribute to his courage and service to the country. May God rest his soul in peace. Sir, we are very proud of you and we miss you dearly. Hello, friends. A very warm welcome to another episode of Corporate Banters with DK. So far, I have been inviting guests from corporate world, and hence in this episode, you are all in for a real surprise. I'm going to introduce you to an IPS officer of 1992 batch of Jammu and Kashmir cadre. In my audience who doesn't know what IPS is, IPS stands for Indian Police Service. The person I'm referring to by qualification, he is MBA, cost accountant, LLB, Masters in Disaster Management. Hold your breath, my friends. This is just an appetizer. The person sitting in front of me has received 13. Yes, you heard it right. 13 medals during his career. He has been recognized by President of India on more than one occasions. He has received gallantry medals on more than one occasions. Now, as is obvious, there is always a bit of secrecy around such a big profile, and hence I will not get into specific details. Needless to say, I am currently in awe, and you might find me stammering few times during the episode. So please pardon me for that and understand my nervousness. Currently, he is Director General of Prisons in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So friends, let me introduce you to Mr. Hemant Kumar Lohia, a highest ranked police officer and recipient of multiple medals for his bravery, dedication, and services to the nation. Sir, a very warm welcome to you, and it's an absolute honor to have you on this podcast. A sincere thank you as well for making time out of your busy schedule for this podcast.
Hello, Deepak. Hello, audience. I'm glad to be part of this podcast today evening. And I'm glad if I would be of any use to any of the audience today, or maybe who can listen it later on. It will be a great pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir. So let's get started. Tell us a bit about why did you choose IPS, and looking back, if given an opportunity again, will you choose to be an IPS officer again?
Oh, surely, I have no doubt about that. Why I chose IPS initially, because when you join service, you are not really in know of all the facts those are involved. But I'm glad I chose IPS. And given an opportunity, I'd like to start again with an IPS.
Wow. Moving on to my next question. It's a service which requires utmost dedication towards the nation without thinking about oneself. So, what keeps you motivated day in, day out to have such a dedication?
The fact that we love our country and our country needs people who can serve them, who can serve the people without any personal attention or any personal motivation or any personal biases. We need people who can serve the country because India, is a very vast country with diversified population, diversified terrain, and multiple problems and multiple opportunities, therefore. So this is what keeps me motivating because at the end of the day, when I sleep, whenever I find time, I just go through the day that has passed by and see how many lives have I been able to touch, how many problems I've been able to solve, and the motivation to keep going.
Wow. Wow. Now, why did you choose Jammu and Kashmir as your home union territory, if I may ask?
The allotment of cadre is slightly complicated, but what I can say this is, people who belong to one place and the resident of one place, only one third of those people can go back to their state. Rest two thirds have to be compulsorily outsiders. So in my case, there were not many seats available in that particular area in my home state, that is Assam. And so I was chosen randomly by computer to serve in Jammu and Kashmir. And to tell you the truth, I am happy. I must say I'm lucky.
Yeah, in hindsight, everything works out so well, right? Over a period of time, it all equalizes, right? And
Yes.
sometimes at that moment, we might feel dejected, but when in hindsight, we'll feel, oh, wow, what a great decision it turned out to be.
Absolutely. It's not being dejected. It's, when you don't understand the nuances,
Yeah,
then everything comes as a shock to you or as a news to you. So, but at the end of the day, yes, I'm happy, very happy.
very nice. Wow. I will move on to my next question now. Approx how many people work for you? Tell us few leadership skills you apply to manage such huge team and also how you keep them motivated.
See, in government, you have to deal with all kinds of people. You don't have a choice about them because there are various policies for providing employment.
Mm-hmm.
So people from under matric, matriculate, graduates, postgraduates, they come at different ranks. And working with them as a team is utmost important, as happens in the corporate world. But in the corporate world, you can hire and fire.
Yeah.
But in government, it does not happen that way. You can fire, but then there has to be a process that has to go through. And to say the truth, or to say simply, I just say that I speak my mind out. Too much of liberty cannot be given. So therefore, you state your objectives and ask them how they can contribute to make our goals a single goal. And it works most of the times because after all, they are also human. We require practical knowledge and that they have plenty. So all I would say, the leadership skill requires, it cannot be authoritarian, although we have lots of authority, and wherever required, it should be exercised without any doubt. Because if you see in government, if you are trying to shield a person just on humanitarian grounds, the entire force gets demoralized. So you have to act very swiftly on those kind of aberrations. But more or less, people are compliant, people understand, and they are paid very handsomely. So they cannot afford to lose their jobs because it not only provides them good employment, post retirement also there are very good benefits which are available to them.
Yeah. So you made a couple of points, and I'll kind of rephrase what you said. Yes, I mean you have a lot of authority, but there is no point in applying authority in all places. It's a question of exercising that judiciously. What is more important is basically setting the right vision and aligning all the people under you to align with that vision and work towards that vision. And that basically motivates the people to move towards that vision.
True.
This is quite similar to how the corporate also works. But one big difference which you mentioned earlier, which I think missed out, is the different kind of people you manage, like from undereducated or less educated to highly educated people. The mindset are very different. It's like managing different personalities, and more importantly, I think it will come with a lot of diversity as well, right? I mean, people from different parts of the country with different backgrounds and different language skills, and managing such a huge team will definitely create some different kind of challenges as well.
Yes, it does.
And generally, how do you tackle those kind of challenges?
I've been blessed by this capacity to learn and pick up languages. So I can speak many languages, and that helps. That helps a lot. Because everybody, as I said, is not proficient in English or Hindi.
Yeah.
Because the country is a huge country.
Yeah.
So I can communicate with them.
So how many languages do you know?
I can make around with 14 languages.
Really? 14 languages? Wow. My God. That's a lot. And all Indian languages?
No, if you say Gorkhali to be a foreign language, I think that is the one language that I can speak, but otherwise all Indian languages.
Wow, 14 is huge. And how many people approximately would be working for you, like in terms of numbers? Give me an approximate number, not necessarily it has to be a specific number.
So it is about 100,000.
100,000 people work for you.
Yes.
Wow. Incredible, right? I think the largest team I have managed is perhaps 40 people, and I knew the challenges of managing even 40 people. And you're talking about 100,000. Wow, incredible.
The geographical area too. I manage the state of Jammu and Kashmir, which is a huge, huge geographical area.
So let's move on to our next question. Now, one of the things which is very common in the corporate world, and we have seen time and again, is as we move higher up in the ladder, there is a bit of impatience which creeps in, and sometimes arrogance as well. And I do understand position unintentionally brings such stress sometimes, while people might not intend to be impatient or arrogant, but it just happens. I have known you for a number of years. You have a lot of patience, and I've never seen even a hint of arrogance in you. So tell me, how do you keep grounded, being in such a powerful position and managing 100,000 people?
See, it's not very difficult. Part of it obviously is your personality trait,
Mm-hmm.
but part of it has to be managed. And that you can do through yoga exercises that helps a lot. If you meditate, then
Mm-hmm.
all your energies are posted in one direction.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, what I believe or what I've always worked upon is systematic approach to work.
Mm-hmm.
I do not do work haphazardly. There are times when the office work takes me around 8 to 9 hours. There are times when I have just 3 hours of office work.
Mm-hmm.
But I have made it a principle. I'll not keep my office work pending for more than a week.
Mm-hmm.
And this I keep for Sundays, especially on issues which are pertaining to judiciary
Mm-hmm.
or which are pertaining to departmental inquiries. Because there you have to apply a lot of brains, look at all the pros and cons,
Mm-hmm.
and be right politically,
Mm-hmm.
judicially, as well as administratively.
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of work I generally keep for Sundays, but otherwise I never carry a work of one day to another day. Whatever be the time, I clear it.
Wow, that's incredible again. Wow. I'm learning a lot in this podcast. Trust me on that, sir. You are in a profession which brings risk, right? You have to be on the field, you will be on risky assignment. Now, what goes in your mind to take away that fear of unknown? Basically, how do you conquer that uncertainty and are focused on things at hand?
You see, again, it is just a professional acumen that you derive over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
If your resources are at right place,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have been working nicely,
Mm-hmm.
then intelligence will flow to you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been ambushed maybe a dozen times
Mm-hmm.
during my career,
Mm-hmm.
but without any harm for
Mm-hmm.
two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One, I had some information about those ambushes and I was prepared, more prepared than usual. Secondly, God helps the people who are actually brave and who have done no wrong. I mean, this is my firm belief.
Wow. So it's a question of preparation, it's a question of being proactive about the situation and taking a calculated risk.
Yes,
And then, of course, the divine intervention.
yes. Because I recall a time when I carried out an operation during mid-December it was,
Mm.
and the challenge that came my way was very unique.
Mm-hmm.
Three militants, they were into a village, a remote village,
Mm-hmm.
and we got information as we were laying cordon around that village.
Mm-hmm.
They took 3 to 4 civilians along with them and took
Wow.
shelter in a mosque.
Oh my God.
Now, my challenge, I briefed to my people, there are three challenges that we have right now. Number one, the hostages should be released, got released unharmed.
Mm.
Secondly, no harm should come to mosque because it's a place of worship.
Yeah.
Third, we should be able to neutralize all three terrorists in that order.
Mm.
And we planned it. And mind you, it took me 46 hours of siege to get them. I mean, all the three objectives were achieved. And
Wow.
how we did it was adopting certain innovative methods.
Mm-hmm.
We sent them food because food had to be sent, otherwise they were threatening to kill the hostages.
Mm.
So we laced that food with laxatives
Mm.
so that their body gets slow.
Mm.
They are not able to react in the way that a trained terrorist could do.
Mm.
We reduced the electricity supply so that they were suffering from cold because it was intense cold. The temperature there was minus 4 degrees Celsius.
Mm.
So we reduced the electricity, forcing them to come to a single room.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing that we did was we made two openings. One opening was lighted, another opening was dark.
Mm.
And as their psychology is, they ran towards dark where an ambush team was shooting for them
Mm.
and all neutralized.
Wow. So it speaks volumes about the kind of meticulous planning which goes into in every operation because it's a question of life and death over there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right? It's not only you're putting the lives of yourself and your team at risk, it's also people whom you don't even know who are at risk, right?
Absolutely.
And it's your job to basically not only protect the people whom you don't know, to protect your team, everybody else.
So you brought forth a very good point, and I take pride in saying this. Under my leadership, I have dealt with hundreds of operations, and so far I have lost just two of my men.
Wow,
Just two.
that's really incredible. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. And I must congratulate you as well. I mean, this is like fantastic. And it's not a short career. We're talking about almost 25, 30 years of career,
Yes, yes.
right? So brilliant. Now, moving on from your professional life to a bit personal life. Now, as you were mentioning, your works are long hours. Like you had one operation which required you to be on the field for 46 hours, right? So definitely that means a lot of time away from family. How do you manage your work-life balance?
See, it's not very difficult. You spend quality of time because I've never believed in quantity of time. I was not able to give, as is expected, too much of time to my family, but whenever I was there or we were together, we used to spend time together. Unfortunately, because of the risk assessment, my children and my family had to be away from me
Yeah.
for about 10 long years, stayed separately, incognito,
Wow.
but we kept going. We were there for each other,
Hmm.
we were talking to each other,
Hmm.
and we had faith in God.
Yeah. Brilliant.
I mean, I'd just like to put across one point here. See, everybody knows that the words, that the administrative system, be it corporate or be it government, is a hierarchical structure,
Hmm.
right? So the problem that causes in the work-life balance is your intentions to go ahead of others,
Hmm.
if required by pushing others.
Hmm.
And it does cause a lot of stress in the person who is surging ahead
Hmm.
because nothing in this world comes for free.
Yeah.
You have to pay a price.
Yeah.
Some people, pay it immediately, some people pay it later on.
Yeah.
So if you can maintain this in your life, if that God has given you a life and you are just mandated to work honestly, and you will reach wherever you have to reach. You don't have to push, you don't have to shove, you don't have to actually, backstab somebody. Applies to corporate as well as government. I've seen a lot of my friends in government who have been after networking, who have been after making, conduits to go through the system swiftly, faster, or so-called juicy postings. I have never even given a damn about that. I've said to the government, wherever you like, you post me. I'll never go to anybody for my posting or any special favor. Whatever is due to me has always come to me, and I've made sure that comes to me because I know my job.
Hmm.
You know, to things done.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree with you. I mean, in the pursuit of going higher and higher, we do pay a price and we don't realize it at that moment. We do realize it in hindsight. And sometimes it's an expensive price to pay. I completely
Yes,
agree.
absolutely.
Yeah. Moving on. Now, Indian police service traditionally has been very male-oriented police force. What's your opinion on role of diversity in police force? And do you think, or do you see that changing in future, or do you even in the present?
See, we have male female ratio, which is approximately 50%, give or take a few percent is here or there.
Oh, really? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, male female ratio is that only. Some place maybe it is 45 because of humidity side and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, God has been maintaining this balance of 50-50 ratio.
Now, moving on to something more fun side and about your fitness. You are a very fit person. So, what's your fitness routine and how do you carve out time out of your busy schedule?
See, as I told you in the very beginning, I do yoga meditation and around 17 minutes of exercise, which is a combination of stretching, cardio, and strength.
Mm-hmm.
So, on an average, I'm able to do all this for 25 to 26 days a month
Wow.
because my entire exercise regime does not require going to any gym or any other place.
Mm-hmm.
I devise that routine on my own, and wherever I am, I'm able to manage most of the exercises.
And you do that like for an hour, like meditation,
No,
yoga. No.
Maximum 20 to 25 minutes is the time that I can afford. If I'm at leisure, then maybe 35 minutes. But generally, I do it for 20 to 25 minutes a day.
Wow, that's awesome. That's incredible. I mean, 25 minutes and the kind of fitness level you have, it's incredible.
No, because I supplement that with proper dieting.
Yeah.
It is simple to see. I mean, if you eat too much, then
Yeah.
that goes and it gets accumulated. And to digest that, you have to do that exercise. So why put so much into your body? You should provide your body only that much which is required. And that takes care of the fitness thing.
Fantastic. And you're right. I mean, somebody have said that 70% is food and 30% is exercise, right? To maintain the health. So I agree. What would be your advice to IPS aspirants?
IPS aspirants, they are, quite smart people. I mean, dumb people generally do not aspire to be an IPS officer. So the smart people who are there, who know the rigmarole involved into this, I would just say that if you want to come to this service, please come for service. If you want to earn money, there are many other opportunities. Don't waste your time and effort here because this is service essentially, not a recruitment or not anything else. That is my first advice to them. Second, if they come to the service, they should do justice to the people because lot of hopes lie on their shoulders.
Yeah,
And if they do not perform, then not only the service gets discredited, the country goes back.
incredible advice. I completely agree. This is a service, it's not a place to earn money. Absolutely. Now, that's all questions which I had for you. We'll move on to our rapid fire round before I summarize. So, are you ready for the rapid fire round?
Absolutely.
One thing you love about Kashmir,
Nature.
right? Is
I mean, there
beautiful.
is no other place on earth like Kashmir.
Yeah.
At this altitude, you will not find, and not only altitude, mind you, it is latitude and longitude. There is no other place geographically available on this earth which can even come closer to Kashmir. It is God gifted. I mean, it's not that somebody should take credit for this
Hmm.
because we are sitting in Srinagar at 6,000 feet
Hmm.
and we have a valley which is 100 kilometers wide and about 300 kilometers long, where a full bodied buoy plane can land at this altitude. There is no other place on earth.
One thing you love about bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy is like solving problems. And what I love about bureaucracy is the incredible power the government has bestowed upon bureaucracy. The only thing is you should use them judiciously for the advantage of people, and you can do wonders. I mean, I don't have to seek approval for anything. Everything is by constitution given to me,
Got it.
and I can make a difference.
Wow. One thing which you would like to change about bureaucracy.
A slight red tape, maybe,
Hmm.
but that actually emanates from personalities. If I don't want to do any work, I can always raise a query, put a question. So essentially, bureaucracy does not require much change. The mindset, the people who are coming into the bureaucracy, there should be a filter mechanism. And once they come in, there should be a regular assessment.
Yeah, that's a brilliant point. As per you, what's the future of India?
Oh, it's a great country, and it is going to be, you know, I will not say number one because it's a number game,
Yeah.
but it will be right at the top. Sure,
Wow. So I feel proud to be being an Indian.
absolutely.
One lesson you would like to give to current generation to remember to succeed.
Truly, think, do your work honestly wherever you are. I mean, there's no harm in trying. You should be motivated.
Yeah.
But in doing that, just keep in your mind right and wrong. And the very simple principle is what you are doing, if it happens to you, how would you react?
Yeah. Any book recommendation?
There are many.
Just give us one, the latest one which you have read, which you want other people to read as well.
The old book that I read was The Future Shock by Alvin Toffler
Hmm.
and uh, Future Crimes. That is again of very good treatise. And Future Crimes. That is again of very good treatise. And Future Shock. And Alvin Toffler. And Future Crimes. That is again of very good treatise. And Future Crimes. That is again of very good treatise. And Future Crimes. That is again of very good treatise. And Future Crimes. That is again of very good treatise. And right now, I'm going through a biography which goes by the name of Undaunted.
Mhm.
By it's basically written for a young lieutenant in the army who was brutally killed by the terrorists.
Okay.
He was a young Kashmiri officer,
Mhm.
and I'm right now reading that book.
Wow. All right, that's all what I had for you, sir. I think this has been an amazing, amazing conversation. In fact, I'm finding it hard to summarize all the things which I've learned during the call. Creating the vision, following the heart, believing in the divine power, doing the service rather than thinking about the money, being proud of what you are doing, and being calculated and systematic about the work which you're trying to do. So, to get the work done, being proactive, using the authority judiciously, how to motivate 100,000 people under you. That's incredible, to be honest. I'm still under shock that you manage 100,000 people, honestly. And of course, keeping yourself healthy, eating right. It has been a lot of learnings, and I'm sure the audience is going to take a lot out of this. You have had a brilliant career. I mean, we are really proud of you, of what you have done in your career so far, and I'm sure you're going to reach higher peaks in your career going forward as well. And again, thank you so much for your time. I know it is late in the night for you, so you're spending so much of time with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Deepak. You have been a wonderful host, and I must say that you have a way of getting things out. You know how you put your questions will determine what answers are you going to get. So I'm really proud to have had this opportunity to interact with you. And we'll look forward to have another opportunity, God willing, soon.
Thank you so much. Really
Thank
appreciate
you,
that.
audience. Thank you, audience, for bearing with me.
Nobody is bearing it. Trust me. They would have loved what you have said. So it has been really an incredible conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.